Right now, not only were there 10 more Tong Tian aristocratic family, there were more than 10 more of them. In the north, south, south, west, and north, these 5 sects were all occupied by the strong ancient powers. The original overlords of these places were now even more depressed, because many good places or small sects in this new world were all occupied by these ancient powers. These ancient powers had all been inherited from the 10th heaven, but they had always been hidden in the profound realm. So many people did not know much about them. However, this was a good thing for many warriors as these ancient powers were taking in disciples. Furthermore, when the devil realm and the other ancient powers attacked, these powerful ancient powers would not be annihilated. Pill City had become even bigger now. Many ancient powers had sent out their Dan Kings to join them. This way, they could open their own pill shop in Pill City. Chun Martial Continent, Super Martial Profound Realm. Huang Jintian had been guiding a few elders on their cultivation every day after he came out, and would occasionally teach at the Super Martial School's plaza. In order to make the Super Martial School's overall strength stronger, Huang Jintian continuously used the Heaven Extended method to allow many elders to cross the Nirvana Doom. Master Ancestor, our Chun Martial Continent does not have any ancient powers. Furthermore, this place is near the Devil Realm and the Demon Realm. It should be under constant attack. Gu Dongchen sighed. Huang Jintian laughed. A lad? You are from the Ancient Spirit Clan? Your Ancient Spirit Clan is much older than those Tong Tian aristocratic family. Now they should have also released their seals. Gu Dongchun chuckled. Master Ancestor must also be a member of one of the ancient powers. Sigh. That brat, Xianxia, made such a big fuss in Pill City, but he still didn't come back and tell us about it. Huang Jintian stroked his beard, his face filled with displeasure. Seeing Huang Jintian's expression, Gu Dongchen had already seen how Xianxia looked like when he was lectured after he returned. Martial Ancestor, what method did you use? He actually killed more than 100 experts from ancient powers. If those powers were to find out, our Super Martial School will be in trouble. Gu Dongchen was very suspicious about this. I don't know either. Even if I had come here in secret, it would have been very difficult for me to not have been discovered by others. Moreover, over 100 people were killed in one night. I don't know either. Even if I came here in secret, it would be difficult to not have been discovered by others. Huang Jintian frowned and shook his head. However, this little bastard really deserves a beating. He even dares to take something like the heaven-earth killing method. When he comes back, I want to beat him up. Xianxia had cheated quite a few of his spar, causing him to always bear a grudge against him. However, he would be cheated even more in the future, because the pills in Xianxia's hands were of a higher grade than before. That's true. At that time he did not know how powerful the heaven-earth killing method was, but now he knows how terrifying that thing is. After Gu Dongchen returned to the ancient spirit race, he found out many things, including information about the heaven-earth killing method. Rough and random profound land. 10 Heavens Supreme Lord is buried inside. It looks like it won't be long before the 2 demon and demon regions join hands and attack rough and random profound land once again. Huang Jintian's face became serious. But if I can learn the heaven-earth killing method, then I can easily enter. Gu Dongchun nodded his head. The heaven-earth killing method is the map to the tomb of the great emperor. But I don't want that little bastard Xianxia to go in. Even if he can learn heaven-earth killing method, it's still very dangerous to go in. Who knows what kind of changes have occurred after so many years? Huang Jintian shook his head. Xianxia, who was still cultivating, did not know that the most tempting thing about the heaven-earth killing method was that he could enter the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's tomb. Duan Sanchong naturally knew about this matter. He didn't tell Xianxia because he didn't want Xianxia to take the risk. The people from the Duan clan had all suffered greatly inside, and he felt that the heaven-earth killing method was unreliable. Ji Meixian also knew that she was concealing this matter because she was worried that Xianxia would grab her undergarment when he was inside and use it to threaten her later. In her plans, she had to wait for him to become stronger before she could drag Xianxia inside to get it. The rough and random profound land had already determined that it was the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's mausoleum. Those Shang Domain and Tong Tian aristocratic family had attacked once, but they were still unable to move. Even if even more people attacked together, the result would be the same. This was equivalent to a key, a map, allowing people to safely enter the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's mausoleum. It could easily open the main door of the mausoleum and enter to search for the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's inheritance. Isn't this heaven-earth killing method in the hands of the Tong Tian aristocratic family a long time ago? Gu Dongqin was extremely suspicious. Why didn't he learn it and then enter the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord's mausoleum? Back then, this world was separated from the others, and the rough and random profound land was also a profound realm, but he only appeared now, and the heaven-earth killing method is not easy to learn. Only the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord could learn it. No one else has ever mastered it. Huang Jintian sighed. Because to learn the heaven-earth killing method, one must first have a killing heart and possess enough killing intent. Gu Dongqin gasped. No wonder many ancient powers did not dare to touch it. Whoever obtained it would become a homicidal maniac. I'm afraid that even before I managed to refine the killing heart, my soul has already been destroyed and become the incarnation of slaughter. Saying that, Gu Dongqin smiled slightly. Junior Master's killing intent is heavy, but he is fine. He did not lose his sanity. Yeah, but it still requires a certain amount of killing intent. I feel that it's still not enough, so I'm really worried about him. Who knows, maybe the reason he killed over 100 experts was for the sake of cultivating this demonic technique. Huang Jintian's face was full of worry. Xianxia was not aware of this fact. He only knew that it was very suitable for people with killing hearts to learn. This was said by Su Meiyao and by Yuyu's master. If not for that, their master would not have searched for many years. Originally, Xianxia's killing intent was not strong enough, but it was a coincidence. On that day, it also gave him a perfect opportunity to kill more than 100 powerful hidden experts, causing his killing heart to become stronger and stronger. Because he cultivated the White Tiger's divine ability to suppress the murderous aura. The power of the White Tiger divine technique was to transform killing aura into energy. Little Junior Martial Uncle is not kind at all. He gave the medicine shop to Junior Martial Sister. Gu Dongqin muttered. Giving this to little girl is the best choice. After all, she's an alchemist and has great experience in controlling alchemy. If that's the case, then that brat won't dare to offer a high price in the future. You can just buy from little girl at a low price. Huang Jintian laughed. Martial ancestor, how about this? In the future, when you ask the Junior Martial Uncle to sell me pills, it'll be cheaper. Gu Dongqin whispered. Huang Jintian looked at him with disdain. It's already not bad that he can sell it to you. Some of his pills are not even sold at high prices. Young senior uncle is such a scumbag. He won so many bets in Pill City. He didn't even think about super martial school and only thought about how to cheat me. Gu Dongqin shook his head and sighed. If Xianxia knew about this, he might offer an even higher price in the future. The Dan Fragrance Pure Land had successfully received the dazzling spring pill shop and changed its name to Fragrance Pavilion. Lu Menger and Dongfang Xinyue then returned to continue refining their array disc. However, they were not willing to just create an ordinary profound realm, so they had to spend more time on it, creating a larger, more stable, and more concentrated spirit energy profound realm. But an array disc was only a foundation. In addition to this, they also had to carry out many more projects and use a great deal of resources. Pill City had already returned to its previous state, because there were more Dan King S in the Dan Alliance, making the city safer. The Dan King S had already promised that nothing like that would happen again, and if there were more people sealing the city, these Dan King S would work together to kill it. 15 days after Xianxia left Pill City, a huge battle broke out at the Pill City's fighting grounds. 2 women were actually fighting. One was a white-haired girl in red armor, and the other was the heavenly girl of the Feng clan, Feng Yuhe. That beautiful white-haired woman was Xianxia's recognized sister, Leng Yulan. After she found out that Xianxia and the heavenly woman from the Feng clan had fought, the first thing she did when she came out was to find this woman and challenge her to a battle. The 2 of them were evenly matched in the beginning, but later, Feng Yuhe somehow escaped. The furious Leng Yulan almost attacked the reconstructed Feng clan pill shop, but she was stopped by another woman. Not long after, White Sea Imperial Land's Xianxia was also challenged by a girl in Pill City. Xianxia was already very pretty, but he was still a little lacking compared to the girl. When she found out that the girl in front of her was Xianxia, Xianxia was extremely happy. Because she knew that Xianxia was Xianxiang's wife, and wanted to use Xianxia to threaten Xianxiang. Because Xianxia was very strong, knew Icewind magic kung fu, and was Lu Menger's disciple. What made her surprised was that although Xianxia looked delicate and beautiful, a kind-hearted and pure fairy that didn't taint the mortal world, she was actually fiercer than Chen Xiang in battle. If Xianxia was not a ranker from the Heaven Realm side and had his own battle experience, she would have been severely injured by Xianxia. The Pill Emperor Hall was situated in the center of the Pill Emperor Hall, and there were many spectators watching from the sidelines. A battle between women that could shake the heavens and earth truly made the youths of the supreme powers feel ashamed. "Want to run?" Lung Yulan shouted coldly from below. In her hand was a red and white greatsword, and a fiery red armor was worn on her body. Not only did it not affect her beautiful figure, but it had also added a strange charm to it. Following the fluttering of her white hair, it made her look even wilder and more domineering. Xianxia was bleeding from the corner of her mouth. She did not expect Xianxia to be stronger than Xianxiang, and Xianxiang's recognized sister below was also a terrifying woman. Many men didn't even dare to look at her. Xianxia and Lung Yulan had already passed through the second tribulation, and the two of them had gone through it together. That time, they did not know what would happen to their nirvana doom, nor did they expect it from Xianxiang, but they still passed through it. Lu Menger had to wait for them to pass through the second tribulation before he could be at ease, because the Icewind magic kung fu had to pass through the second tribulation before it could unleash its true strength. After all, they were people that were very close to Xianxiang. However, after they had passed the second tribulation and mastered the ability of escape in the Icewind magic kung fu, they could easily escape in front of the most powerful enemies. "There's a misunderstanding between us." Xianxia's eyes flickered. Although she was young and beautiful, she had lived in the Heaven Realm for many years, and was just a living fossil. "Misunderstanding? Your White Sea Imperial Land wants to kill my husband. As the heavenly daughter of Baihai, you are my husband's #1 enemy. I only killed you to save my husband some trouble in the future." Xianxia's voice was light and her white clothes fluttered gently. Her black hair fluttered in the wind and an extraordinary temperament was formed naturally. Xianxia was not an ordinary woman. Although she was facing two strong enemies, she was very shrewd and scheming. It would not be difficult for her to escape, but that would be very unsightly. Previously, the Feng clan Heavenly Girl had been beaten to the point of running away. Now, she was filled with curses, which affected the reputation of the entire Feng clan. I did not threaten to kill him, nor did I want to snatch his things. In Green Summit City, I only made my move to save the son of heaven of White Sea Imperial Land. She knew that Xianxiang was not in Pill City. If she could get a good relationship with Xianxia and Xianxia, then she could use these two women who had a good relationship with Xianxiang to threaten him. "If you want to run, then hurry up and run. What are you blabbering about?" Lung Yulan shouted. Xianxia did not speak further. With her palm, the entire fighting arena was covered in a thick layer of ice. The cold chi released by the ice wind palm was extremely strong, transforming into countless of ice swords that pierced towards Xianxia. "There really is a misunderstanding between us. We're all women, so we should sit down and have a peaceful chat." Xianxia clenched her teeth. If she wasn't protected by her immortal clothes, she would have ran away. The Icewind magic kung fu was very strong. It was hard for people to guard against the cold. It was very easy to freeze the innate chi. "All right, give me 100 million spar as a guarantee. After I see my brother, if you confirm that there's a misunderstanding, then I'll return it to you." Lung Yulan said. She knew that Xianxia had bet 200 billion. Even though she had already lost, it proved that she was a tycoon. Xianxia scolded in his heart. Xianxiang was just a guy who spent all his time thinking about how to trap the spar. He never thought that his sister would be like a bird. "No problem," Xianxia agreed, while Xianxia also stopped, no longer attacking. Xianxia heaved a sigh of relief. She felt that she could quickly become friends with these two terrifying girls. Everyone was secretly unhappy. In the end, they had actually used Spar S to deal with it. However, hundreds of billions of Spar S still surprised them. Xianxia passed a storage bag to Xianxia. There are 100 billion Spar here as a guarantee. When you see Xianxia, you just need to confirm with him. If I am lying to you, you don't need to return it to me. But if there is no enmity between us, you should return it to me. I believe both of you are trustworthy people. Xianxia counted, and after confirming that there were 100 billion Spar inside, he revealed a very beautiful smile. No problem. Xianxia also laughed and said, then let's find a place and sit down to have a good chat. We are all women. There is no need to fight in such a manner. Xianxia jumped down from the contest ring, handed the storage bag over to Lang Yulan, then smiled at Xianxia. Before we confirm that we are enemies or friends, we have nothing to discuss. Lang Yulan kept the storage bag and left with Xianxia. Xianxia's smile froze, and she secretly cursed in her heart. She never thought that these two women would be so cautious. Even if it cost 100 billion, they would still not let down their guard and just take them and leave. He felt that he had to at least light up 300,000 of them. If he knew that Xianxia and Lang Yulan were to follow his example and scam others everywhere, he would definitely be very happy. How many sets of Iron Bone Dan's medicinal herbs are there now? In these past few days, Xianxia had condensed quite a few creation divine liquid. 150, but it's still not enough because you might fail, so it's best if you eat the remaining half of his Hunyuan Dan. Su Meiyao said. Xianxia was helpless. When he was cultivating, he had to cultivate his flesh and blood. But right now his Luotian gate was still in the process of self-recovery and could not be used, if not the effect would be better. Now that the demon and devil realms had fused with it, the temperature of the Earth's core was even higher. He reckoned that even if there was a profound wood diamond armor, it would be impossible to easily enter the Earth's core. Xianxia was currently wrapped in a ball of mist. After eating the other half of the Hunyuan Dan, he quickly entered into a state of cultivation. After half a month, even though he had already refined an entire Hunyuan Dan, he was still a distance away from breaking through. Even so, he was still extremely shocked by the Hunyuan Dan. With another Hunyuan Dan, I will be able to endure the second nirvana tribulation. Xianxia was currently in a very good state, full of energy. This won't do. If you don't cultivate your body, you might be in danger from your tribulation. Su Meiyao said in a serious tone. Xianxia took out 2 sets of Iron Bone Dan's medicinal herbs. He wanted to refine these 2 ingredients into a highly compressed Iron Bone Dan so that he could improve its quality. Many alchemists would rarely do this, because they did not have enough medicinal ingredients to try. Furthermore, doing so would easily fail, but Xianxia was different. Try 2 of them first. If you think you can, try 10 more, then 100, Su Meiyao said. This Iron Bone Dan could be considered relatively easy. It didn't need to have 2 foreseeing alchemists. If he wanted to refine 100 sets of medicinal ingredients at the same time, he only needed enough flames and consciousness. With the help of his Fa Li, it would be even easier. However, it was still difficult for him to refine them like this, but he was also preparing to refine a high-grade ground-level pellet in the future. With your current body, even immortals can't compare to you. I feel that 100 batches of refined medicinal herbs will never satisfy you. At the very least, 1,000 batches. Su Meiyao's words gave Xianxia a big shock. 1,000 sets of medicinal herbs? How long would that take? And would it succeed? If he wanted to raise the level of the Iron Bone Dan, he could only do so. After all, he didn't have a better method to temper his body faster and could only rely on pills, and Iron Bone Dan was also the best choice. Without wasting any medicine aura's time, condense 1,000 sets of medicinal ingredients into a single pellet. The quality of the pellets here must be very high. It should be of high quality in the heaven level, Su Meiyao said. Xianxia was a little excited. That means I can refine the heaven level pill now? The fact that you are able to reach that level does not mean that you are able to refine heaven level medicinal herbs into heaven level pills. You only have a large number of ground-level medicinal ingredients to refine heaven-level pills. So you still can't be considered a Dan King who can refine a heaven-level. Su Meiyao said. Xianxia threw 2 sets of Iron Bone Dan's medicinal herbs into the pill refining furnace and began his plan. Refining Iron Bone Dan was already not a difficult task for him. Right now, he had already grasped the dual-layered foreseeing alchemy, and it was more than enough to deal with this kind of first-layer foreseeing alchemy. He could even successfully refine shabby-looking medicinal ingredients, not to mention the perfect set of medicinal ingredients at this moment. The quality was really high. Normally, he could refine 5 or 6 pellets, but this Iron Bone Dan really did fuse together into 5 or 6 pellets. After being compressed, the quality was also several times higher. If 1,000 sets of medicinal ingredients were to be compressed and fused together, the quality would not only increase by 1,000 times, but even more, because the quality would become even higher after being compressed. Su Meiyao estimated that it would be at least 10,000 times better. Xianxia directly swallowed the pellet. Although the quality was high, it was completely useless against his bottomless pit body. Xianxia's body was like a pond. If a small stone was thrown into the pond, it would at most cause ripples in the water and quickly disappear. Therefore, normal Iron Bone Dan were of no use to him. How many sets of Iron Bone Dan's medicinal ingredients are there now? Xianxia threw 10 sets of ingredients into the furnace, and this time he tried 10 sets. 300 portions. If you feel that you can control 1,000 portions of medicinal herbs, after you finish refining this furnace, you can begin refining the creation divine liquid. Su Meiyao was currently processing the herbs with Bai Yuyu, so they did not let Long Shui join in. This little gluttonous dragon's mouth was very dishonest. Even though the Iron Bone Dan's herbs were not tasty, and were not of any use to her, it was very difficult for her to control her mouth. Xianxia right now, just by concocting these 10 batches of ingredients, he would need to roughly determine how he would control 1,000 batches of ingredients. He had already grasped the second stage of foreseeing alchemy, so it wasn't difficult for him to deduce right now. If Xianxia didn't have a solid foundation, he wouldn't dare have such a plan in his current state. After 5 hours, Xianxia had succeeded in refining the pellet in one go. The quality of the pellet was already close to that of a superior grade ground-level pellet. How is it? Su Meiyao asked. Seeing Xianxia's head full of men, she was a little worried. Xianxia sighed and said, "It's not bad, but I have to use up a lot of my spiritual sense. It seems that I need to consume some medicinal pills to replenish my energy during the refining process. There are still about 20 or so God-refining Dan left. That should be enough for you to use to recover. As for the innate qi, the 5 elements profound Dan should not have any problems." Su Meiyao said, God-refining Dan cultivates the soul, mainly to strengthen the soul. If a large amount of spirit power and consciousness is consumed, it will cause the soul to become sluggish. After using the God-refining Dan-S and allowing the soul to recover, one can once again use spirit power and spirit power. Then I will begin condensing the creation divine liquid. Xianxia closed his eyes, took a deep breath and activated the Dragon Cohesion Kung Fu. The creation divine liquid only needed to absorb the spiritual qi of heaven and earth, cooperate with the heaven fire in his body and refine the green dragon genuine qi. Using a profound method to fuse the 3 powers, it would be able to produce the creation divine liquid. Right now, he did not need to do anything else. He only needed to concentrate on refining the creation divine liquid, and only used 5 days to condense a large amount of Iron Bone Dan-S. You should know how to refine 1,000 sets of medicinal herbs, right? The last time she borrowed Xianxia's body, and fused the magical corruption gas and God Eclipse powder together, refining them for a very long time. I know, adding medicinal herbs at different times, I feel that I can add 20 of them at a time. Xianxia had already come up with a set of plans. After finishing all the preparations, he put 20 sets of ingredients into the furnace. There was a universe within the Yanlong furnace and there was a lot of space within it. Refining multiple sets of medicinal ingredients required a very strong consciousness to suppress the medicine aura, because at that time, there would be a lot of medicine aura. After 20 portions of the Iron Bone Dan's medicinal ingredients were refined and merged by him, he would have to continuously heat them up with flames, maintaining them in an active state and preventing them from solidifying. Then, he would continue to add another 20 portions of medicinal ingredients and refine the 20 portions once more, fusing them with the medicine aura he had refined before and compressing them so that the quality of those medicine aura would become even higher. In the past, Xianxia would only take a very short time to refine pills, but now he needed a very long time. He estimated that it would take at least half a year, because when the later stages of the medicine aura get compressed to a certain degree, it would take a long time to be suppressed. In a desert in the southern region of human realm, a few men were walking on the hot sand with slow steps. I never thought that Lian Mingdong's father would actually be the Lotus Island's island master. Now that he has been taken back, it means that he is the young master of the Lotus Island. Zhu Rong sweated the most, but a fatty like him was not only sweating, he was also sweating. Zhu Rong sighed. This guy is asking for a beating. I always thought he was a pitiful, poor elementary scholar. But who knew he was such a little tycoon? If I knew earlier, I wouldn't have given him that much of a discount. Yun Xiaodao looked at the scorching sun in the sky. Damn fatty, it's all your fault for buying that lousy map. Look at where you've brought us to. We're all about to die from the heat. Yun Xiaodao took off the clothes on his upper body, revealing his tanned and strong muscles. XV Weilong stayed silent throughout the journey. He only glared coldly at Zhu Rong. Yun Xiaodao, XV Weilong, and Zhu Rong, under Huang Jintian's guidance and help, had already reached Nirvana realm. They were currently heading towards the old continent of the king. But because the ancient transmission array was too expensive, they couldn't bear to leave it, so they walked towards it. Other than the three of them, there was also Xiang's disciple Xiao Chou, as well as the archaic that was guided by Xiang to join the super martial school. Xiao Chou was still a bald youth, naked, with a dead blade of grass in his mouth. Teng Ying was an archaic descendant, and after transforming, he would become a handsome young man. Right now, even he was unable to endure this kind of terrifying heat. I say, Teng Ying, don't wear that armor. It's even hot when I look at it. Zhu Rong muttered. He was wearing a full set of blue armor, which was unbearable to look at. Damn fatty, what does it have to do with you? It's all your fault? You miser. If not for buying an outdated map and making us work so hard. Yun Xiaodao rolled his eyes at him. Little Yun, you can't blame me for this. You can only blame that stingy leader for letting us walk to Pill City. He hasn't even paid us a single fare. Zhu Rong clenched his teeth and said. Xiao Chou looked at Teng Ying and laughed. Bald eagle, can you transform into your original body so that we can ride you to the other side? Teng Ying rolled his eyes. Didn't this old lunatic say that I can't go back to my original body? If I get discovered, it will be troublesome. The Kylan Thunder Eagle was indeed a treasure all over, and Zhu Rong kept thinking about the scales on his body. Now your life is in danger. If you become a Kylan Thunder Eagle, you will be able to fly out very quickly, and when the time comes, you can just change back. In this kind of desolate place, there won't be many strong warriors. Also advised, thinking about how cool it would be to be able to ride on an primordial beast. Teng Ying had already gotten familiar with these guys long ago, and it was not the first time Yun Xiaodao and the others had intentions to get close with him. Damn fatty, don't even think about it. You're the one who led the way, and this is all your fault. Teng Ying snorted. In the endless hot desert, the scorching sun emitted waves of terrifying heat, making the entire desert feel like a huge steamer, steaming hot. There's something strange about this desert. We are at the Nirvana realm after all. Yet it's so hot that it looks like a dog. 15 Weilong grabbed a handful of silt and stared at the sand in his palms. Oblique dragon, you've said this dozens of times. Those with no brains can tell that there's something strange in this desert. You don't need to remind me. Zhu Rong used his leg to stir up some sand, sighing helplessly. Teng Ying thought for a moment, then said, I thought of one possibility. That is that there is a very powerful flame energy below. Maybe the legendary Earth Core is releasing heat. Zhu Rong clapped his hands and said, That's right. It's very likely that it was formed very recently. We have already traveled here for more than a month, and should be able to pass by soon. Teng Ying's face suddenly became ugly. If the Earth's core is unstable, then maybe even more heat will come out from this place. The Earth's core is said to be a place where the fire dragons can burn. Yun Xiaodao shouted loudly, "If we don't hurry up and leave, won't we be in danger? Bald Eagle, what are you waiting for? Quick, transform," Xiao Chou shouted. "This place is very close to Pill City. Dan Fragrance Pure Land is still very powerful here. You don't have to worry about being captured." Zhu Rong also urged her, "Hurry up and transform." It changed as soon as he said it, and Tang Ying's body erupted with a blue light, which stirred up a berserk aura. All the people around him were blown away, and immediately, sand swirled, and a sandstorm arose. Then a qilin appeared. It had deep blue scales all over its body, and its body was as large as an elephant. It had a pair of blue steel wings. Blue flames gushed out from the surface of his body, but there was no heat. He flapped his powerful steel wings and roared, "Hurry up and come up." Tang Ying sent a few sound transmissions to Yun Xiaodao and the others. Tang Ying's sudden transformation had made Yun Xiaodao and the rest eat a lot of sand, but they did not say much as the four of them jumped onto Tang Ying's back. Tang Ying flapped his wings, flying high up in the sky, using his fastest speed to fly forward. If it was like this a long time ago, we would have arrived at Dan City a long time ago. This is fucking great. If I had such an archaic strange beast as my mountie. Zhu Rong said smilingly as he blew the cool breeze in the air. Tang Ying roared, expressing his dissatisfaction. "My poor Black Hawk has died somewhere." When he had just entered the super martial school, he had already caught a Black Hawk. It only took them 2 days to fly out of the desert, and now they were shuttling through a beautiful forest. Just as they were bathing in it, a scorching hot storm suddenly attacked. As the wind blew through the forest, the entire forest was dried up and then set ablaze. "Damn it, what bad luck!" Yun Xiaodao jumped out from the pond. Without wearing any clothes, he started to run frantically. Everyone else was the same. If they didn't leave now, they would be burned by that terrifying heat. They ran frantically for more than 10 days before finally arriving at a relatively safe place. At this moment, they saw a group of people flying towards them. "Stop! I have something to ask you," a handsome man shouted to Yun Xiaodao and the others coldly. This man was the son of the Peach Blossom Imperial Land, Jing Xingliang. Yun Xiaodao and the others were not people that were easy to mess with. Even if they were weaker than their opponents, they would still go all out to fight them. Now that they were stopped by someone like this, the anger in their hearts immediately flared up. All the way from the super martial school, their mood had been extremely bad, and now someone dared to provoke them like this was purely challenging their bottom line. "Kid, what fucking attitude is this?" Yun Xiaodao turned and said coldly. The group of people that flew over were not only from Peach Blossom Prince's group, but also those from other forces. It was obvious that they were heading towards that desert. Peach Blossom Prince was originally a very arrogant person, and Yun Xiaodao and the rest were in a very sorry state, so of course they wouldn't be put in his eyes. "What did you just say?" Jing Xingliang's face darkened, his eyes revealing killing intent. "Kid, what fucking attitude is that?" Yun Xiaodao roared again. The people behind Jing Xingliang were all stunned. There was actually someone who dared to yell at the Son of Heaven, and even used such vulgar language? Behind Jing Xingliang were some disciples of famous sects, and a few girls. The heavenly peach blossom heavenly girl Mugellan was also here, and she could only watch from the side. "Country bumpkin, you're quite bold. Do you know who he is?" "He is the son of heaven of Peach Blossom Imperial Land." A tall and skinny young man behind Jing Xingliang sneered. "Ha! The son of heaven is amazing." Son of Heaven and Son of Heaven of White Sea Imperial Land were all killed by someone. This greasy peach blossom prince of yours wouldn't be any better. Yun Xiaodao said in disdain. Jing Xingliang and the rest's faces changed. Someone was actually provoking them. Why are you wasting time with them? If you want to make a move, then hurry up and do it. If you don't, then hurry up and leave. The next wave is coming. Xiao Chou rubbed his bald head. His current strength was unfathomable, and he had benefited greatly from great strength races gathering. Jing Xingliang clenched his fists and was about to attack, but Mu Jialan anxiously stopped him. I think we should wait for leader to come in first. It's really dangerous in front. Just then, Tang Ying's face changed and shouted, "Run! It's coming again!" Hearing this, Zhu Rong and the others immediately ran, but a flame storm suddenly surged in front of them. From afar, it looked like countless fiery red demons were baring their fangs and brandishing their claws as they roared out, and any place they passed by would be burnt into sand. When Peach Blossom Prince and the rest saw this, they had no choice but to run. They could clearly feel that if they touched those flames, they would definitely be burnt to ashes. How can these bumpkins run so fast? A man who was running wildly behind them cursed. At this moment, he had been scorched by the heat of the flames until his blood was almost completely evaporated. At this time, Zhu Rong laughed out loud. "I say, you princes, quickly run away. Otherwise, you will be burnt to ashes, and not even ashes will you guys be left, haha." Seeing that those lagging fellows had ashen faces, Yun Xiaodao laughed out loud. "Quick! Get your greasy Peach Blossom Prince to save you all. Let him use the Peach Blossom Immortal Dew, haha." "The Peach Blossom Immortal Dew has all fallen," XV Weilong added. "Don't be complacent." Peach Blossom Prince was also furious. Now that they were on fire, the few fellows in front could actually run so fast, and even had the mood to tease them. Mu Jialan saw that the young men in front of him were definitely not ordinary. Otherwise their speed would not be so fast. Yun Xiaodao and the others had just received a very cruel training. That was why their escaping abilities were so powerful. This was the result of Wu Kaming and Gu Dongxin's special training. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days had passed. Xiao Chou and the others had already left that son of heaven and sky woman behind. As for what was happening in that desert, none of them knew. It was Tang Ying's guess that there was a crack in the ground that caused such a terrifying flame to gush out. After going through so many dangers, Xiao Chou and the rest finally arrived at Pill City and entered the Super Martial School's business. It was a relatively simple hotel and was originally arranged to deal with the demon race, but after Huang Jintian came out, the demon race did not dare to act rashly and had even made peace. That was why they came with him to train and look for Chunxiang in the Pill City. 1 billion spar being teleported, 5 people would be 5 billion. He earned so much that he killed those bastards. Zhu Rong bit on his pig's leg angrily. "We don't even have 500 million spar now, but elder brother Shin will definitely be rich," Yun Xiaodao said. "Yes, we still owe him a large amount of spar." Zhu Rong thought about this, his face full of dejection. Chunxiang gave them a lot of pills, they were all on credit, but they had gathered enough spar S, so they came this time to repay their debts. "You guys are in such a sorry state. What happened on the way?" A scholar with a jade-like face and wearing a white robe walked in with a fan in his hand and a smile on his face. It was Lien Mingdong. "Damn scholar, you have a good father. Of course you wouldn't know what happened on our journey." Yun Xiaodao was unhappy. "Oh? What kind of hardships have all of you endured?" Lien Mingdong laughed. Xiao Chou picked up a bowl of vegetables and threw it at Lien Mingdong. Lien Mingdong was unable to dodge in time, and his snow-white robes were covered with vegetables and oil. Seeing Lien Mingdong being so relaxed, he was very unhappy, but he laughed now. "I'm more comfortable now. How satisfying." Yun Xiaodao laughed. Tang Ying shook his head. He did not understand what these humans were doing. Although he had spent so much effort on one dish, he could not understand why they would be so happy. Lien Mingdong only laughed. "I heard that the people from the Peach Blossom Prince are looking for you. According to their description, you guys have offended him. How many spar are they offering us as bounty?" Zhu Rong's eyes lit up and asked anxiously. 100,000 spar. Lien Mingdong's words made Yun Xiaodao and the others unhappy. "Scholar, where is he now? Let's go beat him up, cripple him, raise the price of his Peach Blossom Imperial Land as a little, and then you cooperate with us to set a trap for their spar." Zhu Rong laughed sinisterly. "Not a bad idea, I agree." Yun Xiaodao nodded. Lien Mingdong shook his head and laughed. "Aren't you guys too poor? But now we have a huge opportunity to make a killing, and that is in a forest outside the city. There are many rare demon beasts that are fire attributed. Beating demon beasts to sell spar. This method is too slow." Zhu Rong shook his head. However, there is a very precious demon beast inside. Rumor has it that it is worth over 100 billion. Lian Mingdong's words almost made their eyeballs pop out of their sockets. Lian Mingdong continued to speak. Because there is some movement in the core of the earth and a large amount of terrifying flames surged out, that place has now become a very terrifying and dangerous place called Earth's Core Fire Realm. Many fire-attributed demon beasts hide in the forests near that area and absorb the core fire chi to cultivate. Damn, it's just like the bald eagle said. It's indeed a matter of the Earth's core. Our lives were almost lost there. Yun Xiaodao gasped. Xianxia was now refining a iron bone dan in the forest near the Earth's core fire realm. He had continuously refined iron bone dan for over 5 months. Xianxia had already hidden himself to concoct pills for more than half a year now, but the ancient powers were still searching for his traces. Now that the Earth's core fire realm had appeared, a large group of experts once again appeared in Pill City. The reason Earth's core fire realm appeared was because the heat in the center of the Earth had already exceeded its limit and burst out with an intense flame from the center of the Earth. The area that it covered was around the size of several continents of the King-S. Those city lords who had noticed that something was amiss had already moved their cities and avoided the calamity before the fire domain had formed. However, there were still many cities that failed to escape, turning into ashes in the sea of fire. Earth's core fire realm was a very dangerous place, but there were countless gems inside, all erupting from the Earth's core. These gems could not melt in the scorching heat of the Earth, which showed just how strong the heat resistance was. Furthermore, there were rumors that some fire-attribute medicinal herbs would erupt from below the Earth's core. Medicinal ingredients that could survive in the Earth's core, no matter what, were all very precious, especially for those who cultivated the fire attribute. Other than this, there were also many other rare fire beasts that rushed towards the forests near the Earth's core fire realm. They absorbed the fire energy that the Earth's core fire realm spewed out, using it for cultivation. The more powerful demon beasts entered the Earth's core fire realm. It was said that there were a lot of fire-type demon beasts that specialized in controlling flames. Xianxia was also near the forest. In the past half-year, he had been focused on concocting pills, but he could still feel the changes outside. Fortunately, he was not very close to the Earth's core fire realm. Otherwise, he would have turned this place into a sea of fire. Long Shui was in charge of lookout. After she discovered that something was amiss, she used her heaven tour method to fly even further away and investigate. She immediately determined that it was caused by the core of the Earth, but it did not affect Xianxia. Xianxia had already refined over 1,000 sets of iron bone dan's medicine together. With such a large number of medicine aura being compressed by his powerful mana, it formed into a small ball of mist, causing the Yanlong furnace to constantly tremble. At the same time, he was consuming more and more innate qi, because he had to release even more powerful flames to maintain the temperature necessary to condense the pill. At this time, the quality of the medicine aura in the furnace was very high. If Xianxia did not have the support of his mana, he would not be able to suppress this vast wave of medicine aura. If he did not have to, he did not want to use this method of pill refinement anymore because it was simply too strenuous. If not for him consuming a large amount of medicinal pellets every day to recover his innate qi and fa li, he would not have been able to hold on for this long. However, there were still some effects, especially for the high and scary quality. Although he had not succeeded in condensing the pill yet, the medicine aura in the pill furnace made him excited. The mountain forest that Xianxia was in was also very strange. Although they were near the Earth's core fire realm, the trees here did not die from the heat. Instead, they released a cool energy that enveloped the entire mountain forest. Therefore, it was the best place for many of the demonic beasts to live. These demonic beasts all had their own special methods, which was to absorb the anger of the Earth's core fire realm outside the forest. Yun Xiaodao, Xiaoqiu, Tengying, XV Weilong, Zhu Rong, and Lian Mingdong. The 6 of them were also searching for the strange beast in the forest. They were not the only ones who were looking for the beast. Many of them were, especially Yun Xiaodao and the rest. If they did not have enough spars, they would have to walk on foot to return to the super martial school. Inside the cave, Xianxia had already reached the final stage of condensing the core. At the last moment, you have to hold on. Su Meiyao saw that Xianxia's face was covered in perspiration. His face was pale as he shouted anxiously. It was not easy to successfully condense a super iron bone dan. At this time, all of the innate qi in Xianxia's body was being drained, and the heaven fire that was formed from the converging genuine qi of 5 elements could only barely hold on. Fortunately, he cultivated the divine way and had that bizarre Fa Li. It was extremely effective in suppressing those ferocious medicine aura. The trembling pill furnace weighed tens of thousands of pounds at the moment. The super iron bone dan was made from thousands of medicinal ingredients, and they were all squeezed together to form a pressure. Xianxia's furnace was not an ordinary furnace. It was a Yanlong furnace, a holy level dragon tool. Otherwise, it would not be able to withstand such pressure. The entire small mountain started to shake following the pill furnace, and Xianxia was getting closer and closer to successfully condensing the pill. After an hour, the mountain where Xianxia was at became quiet. The Yanlong furnace was shining with a red light, like a red gem, and when Xianxia was refining this super iron bone dan, he used the power of the Yanlong furnace, causing it to return to its original state. He opened the lid and golden light gushed out in all directions. It was as if he was holding a miniature golden sun in his hand. So powerful! Xianxia's eyes were stung by the super iron bone dan's light. The golden light this iron bone dan was emitting made Xianxia feel a slight change in his body. It's not as heavy as I imagined. It's about the same weight as an ordinary pill. But its quality is just too high. It's already at the heaven-level pill stage. Xianxia found it hard to imagine that he would actually be able to successfully refine such an unusual heaven-level pellet. There have been a lot of passers-by these days. Something big seems to have happened outside. Long Shui said. Xianxia needed a lot of time to digest this super iron bone dan. He did not want to be disturbed. Right when he was about to lay down a few more array formations, Su Meiyao said, "We might as well go outside and cultivate in the Sea of Fire." Long Shui nodded his head. "That's right, that place is the result of the eruption of the Earth's core. Even some of the old fellows would not be able to reach that place." Xianxia spent a day to adjust his condition, and then left the cave. The moment he released his spiritual sense, he could feel the direction of the Earth's core fire realm. After that, he madly rushed over, not even trying to conceal his appearance. These auras are very familiar." Xianxia was startled. He then used his heaven tour method and flew towards the Qi, the Xiao Dao and the rest. "They're finally here." Xianxia laughed. "I didn't think that I would get into a fight with the Peach Blossom Prince." Yun Xiaodao and the others were looking for the strange beast. While Peach Blossom Prince and the rest were here, they could not avoid running into it, since they were all from the strong younger generation. "Go and greet them. First break through, then fight with the heavenly sons," Su Meiyao said. "Why is it you again, Peach Blossom white-faced monkey? You really are like a woman, pestering us all day long. Are you done yet? We have no interest in men, and our scholars are much more innocent than you are." Zhu Rong patted Lian Mingdong's shoulder. He was unhappy, because when they were chasing the strange beast, they were suddenly stopped by Peach Blossom Prince. Lian Mingdong glared at Zhu Rong fiercely, but that Peach Blossom Prince was even angrier, especially after knowing that this group of people were all Xianxia's friends. He couldn't help but want to kill them all and lure Xianxia out. Jing Xingliang and Mu Jialan, the heavenly daughter of the Peach Blossom Imperial Land, were together. Beside them were a few disciples from influential forces, who looked to be quite strong, with a total of 10 people. However, Yun Xiaodao and the others did not seem to be afraid at all. "Damn fatty! You were the first to insult me. Don't blame me for being impolite." Jing Xingliang was filled with anger. No one had ever called him a white-faced monkey before. But what made him unbearable was that this fatty with a cheap mouth actually suspected that he was gay. Seeing that Jing Xingliang was going to go berserk, Zhu Rong quickly kept his mouth shut and calmly retreated a few steps, hiding behind Xiao Chou and the others. One of them was Great Strength Race, while the other one was a Kylan Thunder Eagle. Both of them were very strong. "White-faced monkey, it was you who provoked us so many times." If you didn't stop us, we would have caught that white flame heavenly horse long ago. You caused us to lose hundreds of billions of yuan. No matter how many times you sold your chrysanthemums, they wouldn't be able to afford it. Yun Xiaodao said angrily. Chun Xiang was using the Heaven Tour method to watch, and when he heard the conversation between Zhu Rong and himself, he nearly fell flat on his face. These two things are probably trying to anger Peach Blossom Prince to death. Chen Xiang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Jing Xingliang was so angry that her whole body was trembling, her white jade-like handsome face, her muscles twitching. Her eyes looked like they could shoot out two fire dragons at any time, extremely terrifying. Just as Jing Xingliang was about to attack, two black figures suddenly flashed out. A young man and a young woman suddenly appeared. Chun Xiang recognized one of the men. It was the son of the Qin family Tianzi. He had fought with the White Sea Prince before, and his name was Qin Meng. The girl beside Qin Meng should be the heavenly daughter of the Qin clan. Her name was Qin Yao. Not only did she possess a peerless beauty, she also had extraordinary strength. Then, another lady dressed in a white dress slowly flew over. It was Ji Meixian. Just as Ji Meixian arrived, followed by the Feng clan's heavenly girl, Feng Yuhe. Feng Yuhe wore a long ponytail, dressed in a luxurious blue dress, giving off a noble aura, but her entire person looked extremely cold, as though she was thousands of miles away. For heavenly daughters, two heavenly sons. This was the heavenly maiden of the two great Tong Tian aristocratic family S and two great saints in the south, representing the strongest younger generation. The girls did not try to hide their appearances at the moment. Each of them had their own unique characteristics and different temperaments. All of them had the same thing in common, that they were all very beautiful and powerful. Ji Meixian naturally knew that Chen Xiang was rushing over. Her spirit sense was very sharp, especially towards Chen Xiang. The relationship between these heavenly women was quite good, but the Son of Heaven and the Son of Heaven often fought each other. At this time, they were only here to watch a show. XV Weilong's slanted eyes swept across the group of people in front of him and coldly said, "Are all of you going to attack together? You guys think too highly of yourselves. I can handle you all by myself." Peach Blossom Prince's killing intent surged. He took out a long sword and fiercely thrust it at Yun Xiaodao. Just then, everyone felt as if a dragon suddenly flew over. The exuberant blood aura, terrifying dragon power, and boiling hot air made everyone feel like it was a fire dragon. The one that came wasn't a dragon, but was close enough. It was Chun Xiang who cultivated the top dragon extinction. The Taiji dragon suppressed kung fu that he could unleash a strong dragon power. Chun Xiang jumped from the distance and stood in front of Yun Xiaodao, using two fingers to pinch his sword. "You're thinking too highly of yourself, you reckless white monkey." Chun Xiang laughed, and dragon power appeared from the tip of his finger, breaking the sword that was of good quality. The four heavenly women and the two heavenly sons were suddenly moved. They instinctively took a few steps back, because they could sense that the person in front of them was very dangerous. "Chun Xiang!" Mu Jialan screamed. "Smelly brat, we've let you show off. We've painstakingly brewed for so long, and we've angered that white-faced monkey. What did you do at such a crucial time?" Zhu Rong slapped Chun Xiang's head and said unhappily. Chun Xiang laughed and then looked at the four heavenly women. "These heavenly girls are not bad. They are barely able to be my female slaves. You better not have any designs on them." The four heavenly girls were immediately furious and embarrassed. Chun Xiang actually dared to publicly humiliate them, these aloof and elegant heavenly girls. "Insulting our Qin family's heavenly daughter, you are courting death. Take this." Qin Meng struck out with his palm, but Chun Xiang dodged. "I'll leave these guys to you. I'm going to transcend the tribulation." Chun Xiang threw down those words and disappeared in a flash. "Son of a bitch. It's one thing to steal our limelight, but at least we have to snatch it to the end. Let's just kill this annoying white-faced monkey and leave." Zhu Rong took out a huge mace and smashed it towards Jing Xingliang. When Xiao Chou saw the four heavenly girls, anger filled his face, and he muttered in a low voice, "Master, this guy, he did it on purpose. This time the matter is blown up. Qin Meng had originally wanted to chase after Xianxia, but because Xianxia wanted to undergo tribulation, he didn't dare go. Yuha, aren't you going to kill that brat? Didn't you suffer a great loss at the hands of his sister? Ji Meixian said. Being chased away by Lang Yulan, she felt that this was the only humiliation in her life. But now that Xianxia wanted to take her in as a female slave, she saw it as one of the most shameful things. I'll get my revenge sooner or later. This guy has a woman like Xianxia, but he's still so dishonest. Men are indeed not good people. If there's a chance, I'll definitely teach him a lesson. After Feng Yuhe finished speaking, he left with a belly full of anger. Mu Jialan sighed. She had always been good to Xianxia previously, but she never thought that Xianxia would actually want to take her as his female slave. On the other hand, Ji Meixian was open-minded, because this was not the first time she knew that Xianxia had this thought. Yun Xiaodao and the others were very strong, so strong that they surpassed the expectations of the heavenly sons. Furthermore, these few people did not even know how to write the word shameless. The 6 of them attacked together, and their moves were extremely sinister. Their 6 hands specially picked out vital spots to strike, piercing their eyes, scratching their kidneys, stealing peaches from monkeys. They only lasted an instant, and Jing Xingliang was already sent flying on the spot, spitting a few mouthfuls of blood. After sending Jing Xingliang flying, they ran off without looking back, which made everyone start cursing. Of course, they were chasing after the white flame heavenly horse. This white flame heavenly horse had a white, and hundreds of billions of spar were rare. If they were to be auctioned off, it would be the business of hundreds of billions of spar. Xianxiang ran very fast, and soon after, he entered the Earth's core fire realm. Along the way, he released his divine sense and gathered the conversation of the people in the forest. Only then did he find out about the Earth's core fire realm. White Flame Heavenly Horse, a demonic beast that possesses a strange white fire soul. No wonder Xiao Dao and the rest are chasing after it with all their might. Xianxiang knew that the horse was very precious, but he needed to make a breakthrough first, because after the heaven-earth killing method appeared, it led to many other powerful ancient powers, with even more powerful warriors. Xianxiang entered the Earth's core fire realm, and this was a sea of flames. A large piece of land was burning with a raging inferno, and deep down, the color of the flames would be different. He released the Suzaka fire wing and flew inside for 3 days. Only then, in the area of green flames, he estimated that the layer below him was blue fire, and then purple fire. 2 days later, he confirmed his guess, and indeed, he had come to the area of purple flame. This place was quite far from Pill City and was a place where very few people could enter. The purple fire domain is truly fierce. Even I can feel the pressure. I wonder just what level is down there. Xianxiang continued to fly. The Earth's core fire realm was divided into many levels. Each level was arranged according to the color of the fire soul, and were red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple. Amongst the fire soul, the purple fire soul represented the best fire soul, but the Tianyang fire soul and earthly fire soul that Xianxiang had previously obtained both surpassed the purple fire soul, so they didn't have any special colors. Even his current heaven fire soul was only the color of ordinary flames. He wanted to see what sort of region underneath the purple fire domain was and what sort of flames there were. Within the purple fire soul, a sea of purple flames spewed out fire from the depths of the blazing fire energy. The flames of the entire Earth's core fire realm were all 3,000 meters high, and the sky was the hottest place. No one dared to casually fly above the fire domain. White flames. Xianxiang flew for 2 days before passing through the purple flame region and arriving at an area covered in white flames. At this point, his entire body felt a burning pain. His body combined with the heaven fire soul. The only way to make it here was to come here. If it was anyone else, they would have probably died halfway, but he still had to continue forward. Within the vast expanse of white-colored fire domain, Xianxiang could not feel any signs of life, and he also did not see any of the legendary spirit medicines or precious stones, nor did he see any powerful fire-attributed demon beasts. He had only walked for half a day in the white fire domain, and was already at the limit of what he could endure. His entire body was in extreme pain and heat, unless he used profound with diamond armoress to enter, which meant nothing to him. Just stay here. With me here, you can relax and cultivate. Long Shui laughed. She also wanted to go out for a stroll now, so she was naturally not afraid of the flames here. Xianxia had set up an array which could hide in one place and form an illusion array. However, it was not a simple matter to set up an array formation in this white fire domain. After laying down the array, Xianxia took out the super iron bone dan, and the golden light it emitted made the white flames here much weaker. The fire energy here is really good. I wonder if it can be used to strengthen my fire soul and make it stronger. Xianxia thought as he ate the iron bone dan. An entire iron bone dan burst out from his abdomen, gushing out a large amount of bizarre energy that drilled into his bones and then gushed out from them, strengthening his muscles, blood, and meridians. If one were to cut open Xianxia's body, one would be able to see that his blood, muscles, and bones were all gold. He activated the body-tempering sacred art, the profound Wu physical exercise, and used the fire god method and the Taiji dragon-suppressed kung fu as support. This way, he could completely unleash the power of this super iron bone dan and temper his body even more appropriately. After the profound Wu physical exercise was activated, the medicinal power surged into his limbs and bones. A stronger medicinal power shot straight into his spirit, at the same time tempering his soul. At this moment, his entire body was shining with a golden light, as if he was a holy king. His entire body circulated with a golden light, causing the white flames in the surroundings to lose their luster. The reason he chose to eat the iron bone dan here was to make use of the flames here to achieve an even more ideal goal. He circulated the fire god method, absorbed the intense white flames, and entered his body. Right now, his hair had been tempered to an incomparably tough state, and when he used this terrifying white flame on his body, it brought him a great deal of pain. My bone soul has changed. Xianxia was suddenly shocked. He had been cultivating for 10 days now, and the mysterious bone soul, hidden in the bones, suddenly released a strange white light that was nourishing all the bones in his body. Only when one's physical body is strong enough will bone soul be born, and Xianxia's bone soul was obtained when fusing with the devil-suppressing blood. Your bones have given birth to another bone soul. Now the two bone soul are fusing together. This is too shocking. It's unbelievable. If you succeed in fusing them, what would happen? Long Shui said in shock. Ah! Xianxia let out a wild roar, and his body immediately spewed out a burst of flames. Your fire dragon kung fu soul is finally about to evolve. If you aren't very strong, you normally won't be able to use your martial spirit as you wish. You need to cultivate your martial spirit to a certain degree before it can display its full power, Su Meiyao said. Looks like he's going to have his immortal devil body broken through. If he broke through, then he could cultivate in the sacred body. Legend has it that no one has ever been able to reach that level. Bai Yu said, large success of immortal devil body. And Xianxia was just a nirvana stage. It was hard to imagine. He could probably shake a nirvana realm warrior with his bare flesh, plus that terrifying innate chi. His strength was unimaginable. The twin bone souls could not exist together, and had to fuse together. However, the fusion process made Xianxia feel as if all the bones in his body were going to split, and he was in so much pain that he wished he were dead. Xianxia's body suddenly spewed out a gold light, bringing about a very terrifying chi, which completely destroyed the array he had set up, causing the clothes on his body to be destroyed, and his robust body to continuously spew out blood. His muscles tensed up and was already cracking. Just when he felt that he could not take it anymore, a refreshing fragrance suddenly came over. The fragrance of the Virgin was intoxicating for Xianxia, as if there was some strange power that caused him less pain, and it became quiet. Her jade face that was breathtakingly beautiful was filled with worry. She saw that Xianxia was powerless and fell down, flying over gently like smoke. Xianxia only felt that he was lying in an embrace that was as gentle as water, which made him feel extremely comfortable. He forcefully opened his eyes and saw a familiar, yet somewhat unfamiliar, beautiful face. This woman was actually the #1 beauty of super martial school, Wu Xianxia. Although her clothes were simple and unadorned, her elegant and refined temperament made people feel that she did not seem like someone from the mortal realm. Her delicate and refined face carried a trace of mature charm, and at this moment, her eyebrows were slightly knitted. Xianxian! Chun Xiang powerlessly shouted in alarm. He did not expect Wu Xianxian to actually appear here. The Wu Xianxian in front of him was indeed the he recognized. However, she had changed a lot. Although she was simple, she had an invisible noble aura around her that gave off the aura of an empress. Hold on! Wu Xianxian could tell that Chun Xiang was using some extreme methods to cultivate. She was not afraid of Chun Xiang's blood dirtying her, and just let Chun Xiang lie in her arms. Back then, it was Chun Xiang who helped her fuse with the Blue Star Fire Soul, allowing her to step onto a road of strong people. She never thought that this kind of thing would actually turn the tables on her. But she didn't think that she was helping Chun Xiang. Wu Qianqian had changed a lot. She was as gentle as water, and her entire body was releasing a strange and gentle fragrance, as though it could melt a person. She gently hugged Chun Xiang, and a layer of silver-white mist shrouded her hand as she gently caressed the cracks on Chun Xiang's body. This woman! Just what kind of fortuitous encounters did you have to be able to emit that kind of strange body fragrance and release this kind of energy from the living dead? Su Meiyao was extremely shocked. Chun Xiang's body is very strong. It is definitely not something that can be repaired with ordinary spirit medicines, but she can just lightly touch it. Bai Yu exclaimed. Chun Xiang, who was originally in incomparable pain, now felt very comfortable. But it didn't last for long, as the pain and comfort accompanied him at the same time, causing his body to gradually become stronger as well. Chun Xiang's body was initially cracking open, and blood was flowing out from the cracks. But after being nourished by Wu Qianqian's mystical energy, he recovered very quickly. Wu Qianqian frowned slightly. Her pair of jade hands seemed to possess a very strange ability, which allowed her to clearly feel that Chun Xiang's body was extremely strong. But this powerful body was still suffering from such a cruel torture. She was very curious about what happened to Chun Xiang. His self-recovery ability is very strong. What kind of body is this? Wu Qianqian was apprehensive. With her help, the speed of recovery of Chun Xiang's flesh that was constantly cracking was even faster. But they had just been repaired, and then immediately cracked again. This repeated cycle made Chun Xiang's body become stronger, as though he had been tempered. The reason why Chun Xiang was like this was because he had eaten that super iron bone dan, resulting in his own bones to breed his own bone soul, and he had fused with the bone soul he had obtained while fusing with the devil-suppressing blood before. The super iron bone dan's medicinal strength had not been completely used up yet. When the twin bone soul fused with it, the super iron bone dan's medicinal strength would thoroughly permeate into his body. He was using the profound Wu physical exercise to digest the medicine even more thoroughly. What a dense medicinal fragrance. This level of medicinal fragrance, at least it's a heaven-level pill, Wu Qianqian muttered. At this moment, she allowed Chun Xiang to lean on her body, and her jade hand was placed on Chun Xiang's chest, releasing that bizarre healing energy, allowing this energy to flow along with Chun Xiang's heartbeat and circulate throughout his entire body. After 3 days, Chun Xiang's skin no longer cracked. Seeing that Chun Xiang had stabilized himself, Wu Qianqian heaved a sigh of relief. Her beautiful face revealed a charming and enchanting smile. Chun Xiang's body had become stronger after going through multiple tempering sessions. However, it was not at the level of the large success of Immortal Devil Body that Su Meiyao and his group had expected, but it was not far off. After going through so many days of torture, he was already extremely tired. Breathing in the intoxicating fragrance of Wu Qianqian's body, he hugged his delicate body as he slept soundly. Chun Xiang suddenly woke up after a long time. At this time, he realized that his body had already been washed by someone, and he was even wearing a set of very comfortable white clothes. Chun Xiang woke up and looked at Wu Qianqian with great shock. His surroundings was still filled with white flames, but the place he was at was very special. However, Wu Qianqian was sitting right next to the pool of water, with a touch of captivating red on her cheeks, and a gentle smile on her face. She blinked her beautiful watery eyes at him. then mischievously stuck out her tongue at him. Wu Qianqian, who was in front of him right now, didn't even bat an eyelid. Qianqian, what is this place? It's all thanks to you helping me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have progressed so smoothly. Although Xianxia didn't understand what had happened, he could guess that Wu Qianqian had changed a lot and become very strong. Previously, Hua Xiangyue had told him that Wu Qianqian would become the successor to the Dan Fragrance Pure Land, and that she was nurturing him. This woman helped you bathe and dress you. Long Shui laughed and said, luckily she was very honest and didn't touch randomly, when he was unconscious and was being taken care of by a woman. This was not the first time this had happened. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu had done this to him before. Why are you being polite with me? Wu Qianqian walked over and waved her hand. The white stone bed and the lake all disappeared, which caused Chun Xiang to be extremely surprised. That was just a method to prevent the flames from coming. Wu Qianqian looked at Chun Xiang in shock and laughed softly. Chun Xiang looked at the plain and beautiful woman in front of him. Every time he saw Hua Xiangyue, he would always ask him about Wu Qianqian, but Hua Xiangyue had never told him about it. Long time no see. How have you been? I missed you. Although Wu Qianqian had changed a lot, he was still very familiar with him. They had lived in the Super Dan Imperial College for a period of time, and their relationship was very good. It's all right. The elder Dan has been taking good care of me. Wu Qianqian lowered his head and said with a low voice, I really miss you too. Chan Xiang was startled. An indescribable feeling surfaced in his heart, causing him to unconsciously hug Wu Qianqian, and he whispered, was it Hua Xiangyue who let you come here to train? This will help me. Wu Qianqian's heart was thumping hard. She hugged Chun Xiang tightly. You smell so good. Chun Xiang took a deep breath on the hair by her ear and laughed. I really want to take a bite. I only became like this after eating a fruit, but I can control the fragrance. Wu Qianqian said in a low voice, then pinched Chun Xiang's chest. Don't bite me randomly. I'm not tasty. Just as Chun Xiang wanted to do something, the whine of a healthy horse suddenly came over. It's white snow. Wu Qianqian was shocked. She immediately left Chun Xiang's embrace, seeing a white horse covered in white flames. This horse had a golden horn on its head, its eyes shining with a gold light. Chun Xiang immediately guessed that the strong and sturdy single-horned white horse was the white flame heavenly horse that Yun Xiaodao and the others wanted to catch. White Snow said that someone is coming here. They are still in the purple fire domain. Wu Qianqian stroked the head of the white flame heavenly horse and said with a frown, the snow in her mouth was the name of that white flame heavenly horse. Long Shui immediately used her heaven tour method to probe. Because there was a raging fire here, her mind was affected, but she could still see who was coming over. From their clothes, they should be the older generation experts. They seem to be coming for you, Long Shui said. Chan Xiang's eyes flashed with a cold light. He said to Wu Qianqian, Qianqian, you go first. The speed of this white flame heavenly horse should be very fast. I'm not afraid of them catching up. Wu Qianqian nodded his head. It is indeed fast. Very few people can catch up to her. She is a friend that I made a long time ago. We came here together to cultivate. But she is a little mischievous and likes to run around. Chon Xiang laughed. Old Pig Dao and the others are capturing White Flame Heavenly Horse, because it can be exchanged for spar. All their work is in vain now. Let's go together. Those people are most likely coming for you. Of course, Wu Qianqian was very clear about what had happened to Chun Xiang. Chun Xiang shook his head, walked over and kissed her vermilion lips, then said, I'm here to undergo the second nirvana tribulation. These fellows are here to seek death. How can I let them return alive? The moment Wu Qianqian kissed Wu Qianqian on her red lips, her face immediately turned very red. She sighed lightly and said with a face full of worry, Then you must be careful. These people aren't weak, and you are also undergoing the second tribulation of nirvana, which is very dangerous. Chun Xiang touched her burning cheeks and earlobes, laughed. It's okay. Believe me. Wu Qianqian nodded, stood on his tiptoes and also kissed Chun Xiang on the cheek. Fragrant and tender, gentle and beautiful. This kind of woman is the most delicious. Long Shui muttered, I want to eat. You evil and greedy little naughty dragon. Stop thinking too much. Go and figure out the strength of those few fellows. During the past few days when Xianxia had been in the Earth's core fire realm, while he was cultivating his flesh and blood, he had also extracted a large amount of rich innate qi from the white flames to cultivate. At this point, his physical body had already surpassed his expectations, and his innate qi had also improved. If one could successfully pass the second nirvana tribulation, not only would one's skin color be refined again, one would also be able to obtain a large amount of power of giving, and their strength would increase by many times. However, if he was only able to trigger the nirvana doom by himself, he was worried that the power of the nirvana doom was not enough because his current physical body was very strong. The fusion of the two bone soul not only made his bones even stronger, his entire body had also received a huge improvement. With the help of the devil-suppressing blood S and the Yulong blood S in his body, his self-recovery ability became even stronger, and he felt that even if he cut off one of his arms, one of his bones would quickly grow out. Only with a stronger nirvana doom can I reach the level of full mastery. Xianxia clenched his fists tightly. He had already decided to go all out. He wanted to see how the large success Immortal devil body was like. Of these 5 people, 3 of them crossed the 7 tribulations of nirvana, and the other 2 crossed the 8 tribulations. Of these 5 people, 3 of them crossed the 7 tribulations of nirvana, and the other 2 crossed the 8 tribulations. Long Shui said, the method of using nirvana doom to raise one's strength was something only those demon beasts with powerful fleshly bodies would do. For example, those dragons. Xianxia had always been curious as to why Long Shui didn't need to undergo his tribulation. It was only later on that he found out that these imperial dragon race who cultivated the divine way didn't need to undergo nirvana doom. But there was another type of tribulation awaiting them. It was not strange that the elderlies and elderlies of the White Sea imperial land would come here to find him, because he had appeared in the forest once before and had been in the Earth's core fire realm for almost a month. Their carefully nurtured son of heaven had been killed by Xianxia. Although these 2 ancient powers did not lack people like son of heaven, if they were to be killed, it was equivalent to slapping their faces hard. Furthermore, Xianxia had killed many of their clan elders, and the White Sea imperial landes had also been robbed of a large number of their precious fire phoenix purple goldes. Their shops in the Pill City had been burnt to ashes because of Xianxia, so they no longer cared about Huang Jintian's warnings and had sent their seniors to deal with Xianxia. Xianxia, you are really here. This middle-aged man was wearing a golden armor and had a strong fire resistance. He waved his hand and released a strong wave of energy, blowing away a large amount of flames. This caused a space to appear in this white fire domain that was not wrapped in white fire. Seeing that the middle-aged man had revealed his hand, Xianxia could tell that it was a technique used by the Feng clan, while the other middle-aged man had innate qi, belonged to the White Sea imperial land. These 2 middle-aged men were both martial artists that had crossed the 8th tribulation of Nirvana realm. As for their appearance, it could be seen that they had extraordinary talent. Compared to them, the other 3 elders of the 7th tribulation were much weaker. Xianxia was not afraid at all. At the moment he had already started to circulate the energy in his body, releasing the energy, which in turn caused a burst of nirvana doom, because the energy in his body had already reached its limit. Xianxia was surrounded by 5 rankers, making it difficult for him to escape. These rankers would not kill Xianxia if they had the chance to capture him alive, as they really wanted to obtain Xianxia's divine blade and Taiji dragon suppressed kung fu. The white fire domain's flames reached a height of over 100 zhang, enveloping the entire sky. Only those who cultivated fire experts were able to reach this place. From the looks of it, Xianxia's robbery power was mainly made of lightning. The 5 experts surrounding Xianxia all cultivated fire, otherwise it would be difficult for even the strong nirvana stage to reach this area. These guys have fire soul, which is why it is able to counteract the heat. 2 of them should be for pill refining. I think they might be Dan King. Long Shui guessed. The few of them surrounded Xianxia, secretly setting up a barrier, stabilizing the surrounding space, preventing Xianxia from escaping. You 2 are indeed the strongest dogs in the Feng clan. You actually found me here. Xianxia sneered. Stop being stubborn, you are already a prisoner. Obediently hand over the immortal blade and Taiji dragon suppressed kung fu. In his eyes, Xianxia was like an ant. Any one of us can crush you to death. If you resist and obey us, maybe you will continue to live. Although Xianxia had done many earth-shattering things, he had enormous potential and was also an outstanding alchemist. But now that they were surrounded, they felt that they could pinch Xianxia to death any time, and wasn't afraid of him in the slightest. Is that possible? If you don't kill me, you will definitely suffer my master's revenge. Xianxia laughed sarcastically. My master can also crush you with one finger. Why didn't you ask for the Taiji dragon-suppressed kung fu from him, and instead asked for it from me? Didn't you think I was easy to bully? All of you are only at this level. Feng Clan and White Sea Imperial Land will send you 5 seniors to kill me today. I will make them regret stealing my things. You don't have a chance to go out. No one knows what happened today. An old man lightly said, Hand over the immortal saber, you are not fit to use it. All of you, chop off your heads. You are not worthy of living. Xianxia laughed. I can speak words too. Why didn't you do it? That golden-armored middle-aged man disdainfully said, Because we are stronger than you. You are just an ant. We can let you die at any time. Feng Clan, White Sea Imperial Land. I will remember. I will not rely on my master's power to kill all of you. I will use my own power, and I will let you know whether or not I am worthy enough to use the Green Dragon Demon-Slain broadsword. Xianxia laughed. His laughter was filled with overflowing hatred, filled with an endless killing intent, enveloping the scorching earth's core fire realm, causing people's hearts to tremble. It's actually a Green Dragon Demon-Slain broadsword? The 5 experts were emotionally moved, and their faces all revealed expressions of greed and ecstasy. Just as they were prepared to grab onto Xianxia, a purple lightning bolt suddenly descended from the sky and destroyed the enchantment set up by the 5 experts, striking Xianxia's body. Xianxia howled, allowing the violent thunder to enter his body, allowing the thunder power to surge out from his body. The expressions of the 5 rankers changed. They suddenly felt that Xianxia was undergoing a tribulation. And from the robbery power, it seemed like he was not someone they could easily defend against.